Buenos dias. This is DJ Morena Libre.
Good morning, everybody. This is DJ JC. Hopefully, everybody's doing well this Friday, September 8th.
Yeah, September 8th on Friday. I hope everybody's having their coffee or maybe getting ready to go eat.
Yeah, it's about lunchtime.
It's about lunchtime, right? Is that clock right? Yeah,
Yes,
you fixed it.
Yes,
Thank you.
Yes, it was showing 1:45 in the afternoon, but we fixed it.
So
we got it.
We have new mics. So we're back. It's fall.
It's the second season. We got renewed for our second
Yes,
season.
the students took us in.
Yes, we're really excited about the second season of our show. We have so many things planned. We have learned from season one. I think we both mentioned, Sylvia, that season one was a pilot, right?
Yes.
And so we got picked up. And we were really excited about what the second season's going to bring. So,
yeah. So we, again, in a little bit, we'll do some reintroductions for, hopefully we have new listeners. But also just to kind of tell you who we are. But yeah, we're back. I'm glad that that students are interested in the show and that we can continue this year. So we are, let's see, this is our second year. So somebody is telling us that they can't hear us very well. So let's see.
We're going to try to see if we can take care of some of these
technical
issues.
Yeah.
But yes, thank you for letting us know that the sound is a little off. So
okay.
We'll try to see if we can get that fixed.
There we go. Maybe that's a little bit better.
Okay.
Well, so we'll find out.
We'll find out. They'll let us know.
Okay. So our return, right? So here we are, year 2. And fall semester. So summer, how was your summer, Joel?
It was really good. Unlike a lot of people that I know that are off for the summer, I work. We work. And so it was really good, being here and trying to get everything in order for the fall semester. But we did have an opportunity to travel. We did, with family, we went out of town. And I guess we could talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah.
But it was a wonderful trip that got to spend with, family up north. And, something different for us because I had never seen the part of the country. We had gone up to Colorado. And I know you took a trip up north as well. So,
we do.
I know we're going to talk a little bit more in detail about that.
Yeah. So every summer we take a trip up to Montana. And it's a road trip. But this is, I think we've been doing it since before the pandemic, but we were living in Utah, so we would just it was a much shorter trip.
Yes.
And now it's a road trip. And then my daughter wanted to go to 4 national parks. So we managed, I don't know how we managed to do that. But we did.
All the way to where, Sylvia? Where did you travel to?
We went to the Grand Tetons, so that's in Wyoming.
Wyoming, okay.
And then we went to, oh my gosh, all the way up to Montana, but what's the one up to that? I'm losing. I'm like
Idaho,
no.
North Dakota.
Well, we went to Yellowstone, Grand Tetons, and then we went to Colorado, Rocky Mountain. Yes. But there's that big one up by upstate. I'm losing it.
Not Yellowstone.
No, not Yellowstone. It's way up there. It's a Glacier.
Glacier.
Oh my gosh, that park is beautiful. But we need more time. Like a little afternoon just did not cut it. It's the Glacier. We did a hike. Beautiful, incredible, and just incredible views. So we were able to travel up there, and it was great. But it was a rough trip.
Now, you did mention, though, that you rough it. That you rough it, right? I mean,
we do.
Intense and...
We do. Okay. It's really rough. Like, we go, we camp. So we just pack up I don't pack it up. I'm sure Juan will be pissed off because I said that. But we don't pack it up. I don't pack it up. He does.
Yes.
And he packs up our Subaru and boom, we take off with my mom too. So there's 5 of us in the car. Last year we took our dog, but that didn't work out this year because there's so many at parks you can't take in your animals, your pets. So we're like, no, she's not, it's not gonna, no te dejan entrar.
Yeah.
So, but it was good. I mean, we pack it. Well, he packs it up, and then we go off. And Texas is probably the roughest.
It is, Sylvia. Getting out of Texas when we were traveling to Colorado, oh my
It
goodness.
is. It's rough, right?
It is a tough
It's tough terrain.
state
Yeah.
to get out.
Yeah. It's tough terrain too, because it's I don't know. There's just something about Texas. I don't know. I mean, I'm here, and it's just it's just rough, and you just feel it as soon as you leave and as soon as you come in. There's a difference, and it's probably psychological too. So yeah, but no, and the thing is that the amenities, right? Like the facilities here in Texas are a little bit more rougher than they are elsewhere.
Okay.
Just comparing.
Okay.
Right? Because we've stayed in a lot of places. But yeah, we pitch a tent.
Wow.
Yeah, my kids are learning how to pitch a tent. They help their dad.
I don't think I could do that.
Yeah.
I would go, but I would need to stay somewhere.
Yeah, and then every year we have to figure out, okay, so there's burn ban, so you can't turn on anything. Like, so we've had to, we either go and eat out, or we try and one year we tried buying a little what do you call it, the propane ones, but I don't really like propane. We're not a big fan of propane, but this year I think we're gonna have to do it this coming year.
And you do this every year, because last year when I met you, you had helped out with some camp also, right?
Yeah, so we are involved. A friend of ours, a really dear friend of ours, he got us involved in a NASA camp in Montana State University. So we've been going up there and just helping out. It's a week long, and it's for middle schoolers. So it's such a wonderful experience. It's the first 2 years, I think, they were rough because we're getting the hang of it. But now it's cool. Now it's been a great experience. And the director, the one who runs it, she gets the grants and everything. She's wonderful too. She has everything prepped, and we just come in and have fun with the kids during that week that we're there. And it's mainly geared towards native kids who are like in the reservations in Montana, and they come in and they spend a week at the university, and she curates professors, local teachers who are wonderful. They're super hands-on with their teaching, and my kids participate. So they do robotics, they fly drones, they talk about Mars, because Mars is, trendy right now.
Yeah, it's the thing.
Yes. So it's a great experience, and I hope hopefully there'll be something like that here. I'm sure there are. I'm sure close to the Houston area, but yeah, it's a really great experience. But we get to travel.
I know.
We get to roam around the southwest and the northern southwest. Yeah. Hopefully we'll make it to California. I want to take the kids to California.
Awesome. We had traveled this summer to Colorado Springs. I have a brother-in-law who is stationed up there. He's in the military, and he invited us to visit. So we drove, my wife, my daughters, and our dog. We had to take our dog.
You took the dog?
We took our dog. And so we traveled up there, and yeah, getting out of Texas, oh my goodness, it's a rough one.
It is.
And so we got out of Texas. We went through just a part of New Mexico and then Colorado, and oh my goodness, it is such a nice area up there.
Colorado's beautiful.
I had been to Utah before.
Mm-hmm.
I had been to Utah as part of a library conference that I had gone to.
Yeah.
But Colorado was really nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Had an opportunity to go to Denver, did a little hiking also, and it was just a great opportunity for us to see a different part of the country, and we really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
The drive back was a little challenging, but
why?
Yeah, because we came back in one shot. 20
Oh, that's
over
true.
20 hours.
Yeah.
Over 20 hours
no.
driving. And one shot, we just really wanted to get home.
Yeah.
And so we pushed, and it was we were leaving at 5:45 in the morning, and arrived pulling into my driveway at 2:20 in the morning. So it was just a really long day.
But doesn't it bring you together as a family?
It was really great. It was
that's
awesome.
what that's
It was
for
awesome.
me. That's the reason why I do it,
Yes.
because we used to road trip. We used to go to San Luis Potosí, anywhere we would travel. My mom would take us. She'd drive, or my aunt would drive. So road trip, and so we got to spend time
Yes.
with each other. Nos peleábamos, nos enojábamos, o sea, nos fastidiábamos. But it's memories that will
It
live forever in
It
your
really
in your,
is.
mi-
We
in your
had it out-
mind. Yeah.
Yes, we stopped in Amarillo.
They form you.
Yes, they did. We stopped at Amarillo. Then we visited, I guess it's Palo Duro Canyon.
Yes, I've been
we
wanting to
did
go there.
that. And yeah, it was great. I honestly enjoyed it. But you're right. You get back home and you're like, I'm back home. I'm back in Brownsville. Not taking anything away from Brownsville. We're the
No,
Valley.
hombre,
But
no.
it's just different, seeing
Yeah, and
another
it's just
part of the
Texas.
country.
It's so, when you have so much territory and so much land under one state, it makes you wonder, right? Like, it just, like, okay, let's just cut off that one part on top, maybe create its own
It's-
state so that they can have their own resources and maybe bring in some better decisions, that's all. It's
Okay.
just, it's just too much.
Okay, so just
Too much.
carve it up a little
Carve
bit.
it up a
Carve
little
Okay,
bit,
I gotcha. All right. Gotcha.
That's I'm sure we can. I'm sure it could be done, but land is important in this country.
It is. In this state.
In the
too.
world, in the
this-
planet,
this
actually.
state, yeah, yes. So.
Okay, so we are going to go on a music break. We found out that there's also another show here in Bronzeville.
Yes.
Yeah, so he's new. The DJ's new, so he doesn't have a stinger yet. But next show we'll highlight the DJ as well, because we need more DJs in Bronzeville. Okay, so we're gonna go on music break. We'll see you on the other side. Okay, we are back. Okay, so this is DJ Morena Libre.
And this is DJ JC. And I know one of the things that we talked about last year was the fact that my DJ handle. So I'm still thinking about changing it. I just haven't found anything, but it's in the works.
We're gonna be here 10 years, and you're
Y nunca
still,
cambié.
yeah, you're gonna say that every year.
Yes. So what I did for my name, for those of you that are listening for the first time, and we do thank you for joining us, it's just my initials. DJ JC Joel Chirinos. But I do want to take this opportunity to thank family, friends, coworkers, and you listeners that are joining us. We really appreciate your support, and we really thank you for making us a part of your morning. So, muchas gracias.
Yeah, and then so we found out, right?
Yes.
That we are what did she call it? The most popular show on Vaquero Radio.
There
So
you
hey,
go.
unos aplausos, por favor. Because we do put in a lot of thought into this.
We do. We meet and we meet.
We meet and we plan,
And we
and
plan,
you
so-
know, and then we have fun. This is a labor of love.
Yes, we really enjoy having the show on Fridays because it kind of closes off the week for us.
It does.
And so it's a wonderful opportunity to just kind of chat and learn. And I think that's what we're going to talk about right now is
Yes.
what we kind of learned from last year's
Yeah.
show.
But before we do that,
Yes.
we talked about reintroducing ourselves,
Yes.
right, to our listeners, and then also to maybe new listeners out there. Just do remember these shows will be on YouTube,
Yes.
and we do have our shows from last year as well. But we'll talk about that a little bit when we do a little retrospect of last year. But Joel, please, or DJ JC, please reintroduce yourself.
My name is Joel Chirinos. I'm the head of research and instructional services for the University Library. And I have been a librarian since about 2005. And this is my second year, as we mentioned, doing the show. And I really want to thank Sylvia for just the opportunity to invite me to be part of the show. Her and I met at the library And then I was doing
we
I
did
was
a
doing
tour,
conference.
remember?
Yeah, we were doing a tour. I did a tour
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
And then I think you heard me at a conference. And
Yeah,
then
you
invited
presented.
me. I presented at a
Yeah.
conference, and then you invited me to be a part of this. And not knowing what the show was going to be about, not knowing what we're going to be discussing. But it's the Feminist Hour, and it has been a wonderful learning opportunity for me. We had some wonderful guests last year, and just our conversations and a lot of the research that does go into preparing this show. Sylvia has, given me some wonderful literature to review, some things to kind of go over, some feminists that I, again, didn't know of and learned. And we had some wonderful conversations last year about some of the things that I was learning. So for me, it's been a journey. It's been a wonderful opportunity to do research. And as a librarian, that's one of the aspects of my job, is to do research and to provide users with resources that are going to support research and support scholarship of any kind. So as a librarian, I've enjoyed many, many wonderful learning opportunities to work with people like Sylvia, other faculty. I work with a great staff, and we invite you, if you are listening for the first time, or if you're a returning student and you have to start doing your research, we invite you to just come by the library and see what we can do for you, both on the Brownsville and Edinburgh campuses, as well as Harlingen and the medical library. We're there to help you. We're there to support you. And come by and see us, and so we'll see what we can do for you.
There we go. Yeah. That's your spiel, right? Like that. Like I can hear that you've. This is it. Like
Let
this
me
is.
turn the page of my notes.
But one thing I think for me is what's been wonderful about this show is that we've broken down those, I guess, convivial barriers, right? When, we've gotten to know each other a lot better, working together. I've gotten to know a lot of the staff at the library. Great colleagues,
Yes, I do.
It's just been a great collaboration thus far. And I think it will continue to be that way. It's just, you all are at the center of it all, in my opinion, right? You're providing services for everyone.
Correct.
For everyone, although I think you need to provide more services for the community in general. But that's another conversation.
That's another
right?
show.
Yeah. But I mean, there's it's been a great experience. But also just getting to know you, right, as a Bronzevillian, right? I guess, is that the right term?
Bronzevilleite? I don't know.
I don't
what the right
know.
term
I
is
don't
for
know.
somebody that
De Bronzeville,
De
hombre.
Bronzeville, hombre. Yeah, let's just cut to the chase.
Let's
It's
just
from
cut to the
Bronzeville.
chase.
And one of the things, Sylvia, that you and I discussed at the beginning of, you invited me to be a part of the show, was why a male, or why me?
Yeah, because it's a feminist. Because
yeah,
you get
exactly.
asked that, don't
I
you?
do get asked
Yeah, like, why are you in it if
Yes.
it's the feminist
Why-
hour?
They invited you to be
Yeah.
a part of the show. so I'll kind of pose a question to you as to why you did select
Oh, I thought about it.
researcher or
Of
librarian.
course. The thing is, this is something let me tell you a little bit about myself so I can answer your question. So, I am a lecturer in the School of Interdisciplinary Programs and Community Engagement. It is under the College of Liberal Arts, and the program is fairly new as well. The department, I'm sorry, the department is fairly new. It's new in the sense that it's emerging, right? It's still emerging. So I'm the lecturer for it. And so I've been able to teach in different programs. I'm starting my third year. And I teach Mexican American Studies. I teach Gender and Women's Studies. And I also teach Environmental Studies, along with other courses too. And I was walking around campus, because I love the Bronzeville campus. And I was hired to be here in Bronzeville And I saw the sign, want to be a DJ. So I said, yeah, in my head, I was like, of course, right? But more so it was because when I pitched the story, when I pitched the show to the students, because I want to remind everyone that this is a student-led radio station. It's a student media. It's they're the ones that lead it. Azenet Cornejo is the director, and she does a wonderful job.
Yes.
Excellent. So for me, when I pitched it, I pitched it as the Feminist Hour, but honestly, I was telling some colleagues that I was kind of pitching it as a feminist hour, not the feminist hour, right? But it stuck, and we called it that, and it's great. I mean, it's great, and students wanted it, right? They got excited about it. And when I met you, I saw you talking and presenting, and you were wonderful. I'm like, I don't have that. Like, I don't have that charisma, right? I don't have that radio voice, right? Although I've been told I do, but who knows, what people think. Everybody's different. So I wanted somebody who would bring the show some life, right? And some life into it. And honestly, I did think about, okay, feminism, right? Typically we associate feminism with women.
Yes.
And of course it's women led, right? It's women doing the work. It takes into consideration and it accounts for the work that women have been doing forever, right? But there's also but it's also relational, right? When we start looking at gender, we start looking at how do we relate to each other, especially as men and women, right? Because that's who we predominantly associate as, right? Or identify as. I didn't want it to be a he said, she said kind of a show, right? So I was really careful about how we were going to present you, right? And you as a researcher in this university, as a librarian, and as a well-respected person in the community, right? Because you come from a well-respected family. And that's something unique about Brownsville, right? That families still know each other. Like, people still know each other. So for me, I took all that into account. Joder, no más así dije, ay, right? No, But initially we were going to do the spotlight, the feminist spotlight.
Yes,
Remember,
we
you
had
were going to
talked
come
about
in
that,
and do the feminist spotlight. But then, we talked, we met, and we had a great time.
Yeah.
We connected, and we're like, okay, let's do it. And then you told me, no, I want to be in the show. Like, I want to be there every week.
Yes. I remember saying that because I've been told that I suffer from karaoke syndrome, that I don't want to let the mic go. So you say, yes, I want not just the spotlight. I want to be part of the show. But one of the things that I know we talked about at the beginning of last year was the word feminism, and for a male, for a man to think, oh, well, you know what, feminism, that word just conjures up, oh, well, it's, and again, as a learning experience for me, no, it's not that. It just encompasses so much, and the topic is so grand that you're right. It does involve, male and female and everybody coming together for it to work and for it to be successful.
It does. And at the heart of feminism is questioning, right? Especially questioning power. So everybody needs to do that, right? But feminism is historical, right? It teaches us the work of people, women, LGBTQ, of men who have been allies, who are teaching, who are doing the groundwork so that future generations can be able to live a more liberating life, right? And a transformative life. So it's really important work. So inviting you, being part of this is really important as well, right? Because I know young men will identify with you. And for me, that's important, right? If you can come in here and share and learn about your feminist journey, then I'm hoping that'll plant a seed among younger men to also be doing the same, to see it as an educational journey, right? As, okay, what is this?
Mhm.
You know,
Because
what?
to me, it was that question: what is this?
Yeah.
You know, and I, I'm continually learning. The guests that we had last year were great. You know, we
Mm-hmm.
took so much from them. And if you are interested in wanting to listen to some of the shows, we are on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the shows were posted up on YouTube.
Yeah.
And you go back and listen to some of those interviews, some of our conversations, because our shows discussed food, they discussed roles of men and women. It was just a
We had a
great-
local author.
Uh-huh, yes.
And then we had JZD, que ya
Yes.
son bien
I
famosas.
know.
And then, ¿quién más? If So, the feminist student organization here
Yes.
at, they're up in Edinburgh, but for UTRGV. Yeah, we had really good. And then la doctora Rosalba Resendiz
Yes.
was here. She kind of did it. She was there towards the end. That was a really great interview as well in her work. So yeah,
I wasn't here for that.
You weren't here
show.
for.
I was at a
No, me te
conference.
fuiste a ver Los Temerarios, creo. No te hagas.
It wasn't that day, but I think I was at a library conference.
Oye, hablando de Los Temerarios, we're gonna play Don Omar
Yes,
next.
and
So,
speaking of Temerarios, really bad news. After 46 years, they are parting ways.
so you got to see them
I
before
got
they.
to see them, and they're going to be here. If anybody's a fan, they're going to be in
Clayton's?
no, I don't think they've gotten that. Not there yet. They are going to be at the Pain Arena in Hidalgo, I think, in November, and that's it. In 2024, they're
Wow.
disbanding as a group.
How many years?
46 years.
46.
According to what I read, 46 years, and
O sea, cuando nacimos,
that's it. Yes, and that's-
empezaron.
yes, yeah, and it's done.
Wow, I'm so
I'm gonna-
sorry.
I know,
But you
I
got
know.
to, you get
I
to
did
see
get
them.
see 'em, yes.
How many times have you seen them in concert?
I saw them once in March of last year.
So that was it. That was your
was
first
it.
time.
That was it. And if anybody's listening and would like to donate to me listening to them or seeing them in November,
GoFundMe or something.
GoFundMe for Los Temerarios in November. I am all for it.
Bueno, we're gonna listen to next. We're gonna listen to Shakira. So we're gonna play these. You know, this is my favorite song from last year.
Okay.
Because you know the whole drama with Shakira and her
Yes.
divorce and everything, right? So here we go. Okay, we are back. This is DJ Morena Libre.
And this is DJ JC. Thank you so much for continuing to listen to our show. Hopefully you enjoyed.
Ay, estás tomando los micrófonos.
Well, microphones. We got some new microphones.
We do.
and
do.
So, yeah.
So we got new microphones installed and they're awesome. So thank you, Vaquero Radio, for upgrading our
Our
station
equipment
here. Yeah. Okay, so retrospect, right? It's
Yes.
been it was a good year.
It was a good year.
It was the 2 semesters. I mean, and also you have to take into account that we are learning the equipment. Like, we are learning how to be DJs
Yes. And
or radio talk people too, right?
yes, radio personality.
Radio. There you go. But yeah, so it's been fun. It's been a huge, like, I felt like I was learning something new from the ground up. You know, like this is a completely new experience for me. I don't know if I would have, I was just telling you, right, I want to be a DJ for the rest of my life, you know. But I just feel like this is refreshing. It's something great that, and it's such a privilege to be able to do this
Yes.
here, right? And with such a great group of students
Yes.
as well.
It has been a learning experience also with this technology and with this equipment and the system that we have in place here where we select our music
And we're
there's
Gen
all
Xers,
sorts of-
right? We're Gen Xers.
I know, and there's a soundboard here and there's speakers all over the place. so it's something that we're getting to learn as well. And I'm dropping microphones left and right. So yeah, but it's gonna come together. First show.
Yeah. Okay, so now we, Joel and I, when there was such a hype over the summer about the Barbie movie. Okay. And then also Oppenheimer,
Oppenheimer,
right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I haven't seen the other one,
I haven't seen
Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer, no.
I need to watch it though because it's an important movie. I think I want to see how they're portraying Oppenheimer because I have a bad impression of Oppenheimer.
Okay.
Just because I mean,
Yeah,
it's the
look
new
what happens.
exactly. So, but I want to know more about it. But Barbie,
Okay.
yeah,
So
yeah,
you and I met a couple of weeks ago,
yes.
and I think we just offhandedly mentioned Barbie.
I
And
go
you,
see
and you
that.
said that you hadn't seen it yet. You hadn't seen it. And I said, oh, I watched it. And we decided that we were not going to
Yes,
hear our takes on it until our show.
yes.
So I don't know where you're going to come from. I don't know where you're coming from. You don't know where I'm coming from as well in our review of this movie. But I think, if anything, hold on, I just want to say something real quick. If anything, maybe this is what this movie was intended for conversation.
Yeah.
Okay? Because how do you make a Barbie movie in this day and age? So I really am curious and I really want to hear
No,
your
but I want to
take.
hear what you. No. I'm going to turn the tables. I want to know. I want to. What was your impression? What's your review of the movie?
I will admit, Sylvia, watching the trailers, watching the previews, I don't want to see this. I really do not want to see this movie. I didn't.
Okay.
It didn't appeal to me. It was not something that I wasn't interested in. And so I just didn't want to, not because of anything other than it just wasn't a movie that I wanted to watch.
Yeah. And did you play with Barbies or Ken?
No.
Yo
My
tampoco.
daughters, pero no,
Sí se las comprabas a
sí,
tus
a mis
hijas.
hijas, yes,
Okay.
yes. And the Barbie houses and the cars and all that. Saw the trailer. It just didn't, no me llamaba la atención. It wasn't something that I wanted to see. So, got caught up in the hype. My family, my nieces had gone to see it, and they came back saying, "Oh, it's a really great movie." My sister-in-law, and I think we were one of the last of the family that went to go see it, went to go watch it. And so it was a Sunday evening.
All stuck up, right? That's beneath me.
It wasn't on a Tuesday. it was on a Sunday evening and a weekend, so we paid full price and then some. And so my wife buys the tickets, my daughters and myself, and she invited my mom and my aunt to go watch it as well. So, and I think my daughter's boyfriend also went. So the 7 of us, and it was packed. It was full. I mean, a full theater, and again, it wasn't something I wanted to watch, but I was like, okay, I got caught up in the hype of Barbie, and so the movie begins and it starts, and okay, I'm like, all right, okay, Margot Robbie, okay, and then
she's a really great actress. I mean,
I really like her.
I've been
and other
impressed
things
with
that-
her.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I liked where they started going, in a sense.
Okay.
Where she started to question, and if you haven't seen it, there are going to be spoilers.
Oh, yeah, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. But at the beginning, where she begins to question, life and all these different things, and she starts mentioning death, and there's a really
Oh yeah, the dance party.
there's a part where she mentions, or maybe it's mentioned by the narrator, that Barbies have solved the world's problems, and it's really self-aware, and I like that. I did enjoy that because they know where they're coming from, and so I was like, okay, I'm getting into this. I'm getting into it, and the music. I know we talked about Dua Lipa.
Yeah. Dua Lipa.
And,
I think that's how you pronounce her name.
And so the movie begins with her questioning the perfect world, I guess. And I liked that part of it. But then from there, I don't know what I feel about the rest.
Really? What part? Where did it start to diminish, or
okay,
like just
so they go into the real world.
Uh-huh.
And even in the real world, she runs into that 13-year-old, and the 13-year-old just unloads and says, you know what, Barbie has given women the wrong vision of what or impression of what the perfect woman's supposed to be and supposed to look like. The
A Latina young girl. Let's be specific.
Exactly, a Latina young girl, exactly. And so I was like, okay, I'm still getting behind this. But then when Ken comes back.
But, okay.
I don't know, Sylvia. I just didn't, I don't know.
Were you, did a miracle up? Is that what happened?
Did I look like Ryan Gosling? Sí. No, al contrario. No, it just, and then, honestly, the people that I've spoken to, I really don't know what Will Ferrell's whole deal was about trying to, I don't know, Sylvia, but maybe that's what the movie was intended to, open up conversations like this. Now, patriarchy is discussed, and, they discussed that. And I'm going to tell you, my 7-year-old niece went to go watch this, and she enjoyed it visually, what was going on. She doesn't, I'm sure she didn't understand the deeper message or intention of the movie, but I think
maybe, I don't know.
Maybe
she has this whole discourse in her head.
Maybe she can analyze it better than I can. We should invite her to the show. I don't know, Sylvia. Maybe this is what the intention was.
O sea, pero te confundiste, or you didn't like is it something you didn't like about, like, the way Ken brought patriarchy into Barbie world? I mean, what is it? Like, let's pinpoint that a little bit.
Okay. The males, the Kens, they're in this battle between each other while the Barbies are kind of taking care of the government issues. I don't know. It was just, I don't know what it.
Well, that led into, right? Yes. Like that's what ended up happening because of the introduction of patriarchy among the Kens, right?
Yes.
That then it started becoming just about the Kens, but not so much that it was just about the Kens. It was the fact that the system of power came in, right? And through Ken. Yes. Or through the Kens, right? But mainly the white Ken, right? Because let's be specific about, who they're representing.
Okay, white Ken.
But I don't know. I mean, for me, I teach, right? And my background is in social foundations of education. So for me, it is it's a really cool pedagogical tool. Like, I could bring this into a class and let's like throw it. Let's have a conversation about this. I mean, because it's bringing in patriarchy, which you'd be surprised how many people do not know what patriarchy is nor what it looks like. So it paints a really clear picture about what patriarchy is. Right, and what it looks like.
It's well represented, yes, in the movie.
Well, I don't know about well represented, but it's represented, which is far more than other movies do. Okay, usually it's unless you're looking at a movie that's specifically about that, then you're not really going to pick up those nuances. But this one is intentional. It's like, I'm gonna,
they went all in on that.
They went all in, and what I liked about it is, so I wasn't gonna watch it either. I thought it was glamorization of Barbie, right? I didn't grow up with a Barbie, and it's not a chip on my shoulder whatsoever. I never cared for Barbies. I like stuffed animals, I liked art. I prefer to get a coloring book than I did a Barbie, right? So plus I didn't identify with the Barbie, right? Because the Barbies were white, right? Especially of our generation, right? They were white Barbie, skinny little body,
blonde hair.
I couldn't relate at all. Even at a young age, I just couldn't relate. So my mom never. I asked my mom after the movie, like, why didn't you buy me Barbies? And she's like, por el dinero, porque they were expensive, right? I mean, they were
more expensive than a regular toy. Or
yeah. And then all the accessories, and Ken was expensive, and didn't always come with Barbie. So, but she said, no, ni se le ocurría. Okay. It wasn't. And then she made a really, and mom, mommy, I'm gonna share this, but this is something that is also cultural, which I find really interesting. I even wrote it down because I thought it was really interesting. How the women in my family saw dolls as bad, like that. I don't know if I don't know if it has to do with religion or just I don't know what it is, but that they take on a form of their own, right?
Okay.
So none of like it's just not something that they would like to bring into the house. I don't know, but we didn't. I didn't. And just to think about that, like none of us really grew up with any dolls or anything like that. I really don't like them either. Their eyes are kind of, and then with Chucky coming on, right? Like menos. So, but anyway, Barbie. I wasn't gonna go watch it either, but our friends were like, "No, let's go watch it. Like, we need to know what it's about, right?" So we went, and I actually did enjoy it. I enjoyed it because, again, I was thinking, "Oh man, this is a great. Like, I could use this. So, this is a great example of what I've read here by Bell Hooks or by whoever,
Yeah.
right? Like, this is, and then also like, it's a really good movie to interrogate because now we know there is different strands, different threads of feminism, right? There's so many. It's feminism is so rich as a field of study. So you can come from so many different perspectives when you're watching it, right? Thinking about race and racisms, right? As
Yeah.
the white Barbie, the what is she called? The stereotypical Barbie, I think that's what they call her. And then you've got these other ones, and you've got the ones that are tossed, right, where they're split, like
Yeah,
they're
yes.
split up, and their hairs are cut. And for me, that's the queer Barbie, right? If you think about it, that's the one that
And-
nobody no you're weird,
And
you
those are
know.
the things that I really liked about the movie. I really liked that. Okay, they went there.
They
went
did.
there.
They
And
did.
even in the trailer.
I mean, it went into the depthness of how us as girls are or especially I think in a white mainstream world, that's the way girls are supposed to treat each other,
Yes.
and that's the way they're supposed to be, right? And that's really interesting to unpack from an educational perspective, right? Because there's all these expectations upon girls that you should be this or you should look like this or
Yes.
or
and they address that in the movie.
they do.
And one of the things that like I said, the fact that they were self-aware, because even if you watch the trailer states, for those that love Barbie, and then it says, for those who hate Barbie.
Oh, I
is
didn't watch
also
the
in the
trailer.
trailer. Yeah. So
Yeah.
both of those statements are for those who love Barbie and for those who hate Barbie. So they knew where they were going, I guess, in a certain
Yeah.
sense of what they were gonna.
Oh, of
accomplish.
course.
And this is, the conversation we're still talking about it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the billions of dollars that it's making,
Yeah.
because people are just curious as to what this is about.
Yeah, and it's a really important, like for me, it started getting really interesting when they came into the real world, because it almost feels like this coming of age for Barbie, right? Of like a young woman going into the world and realizing, oh man, like this is tough, like the cat
This is
calling.
real. This is real.
This is real.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, why are men staring at me? It's just it's the reality, right? The reality. So it's just so many themes, so many tropes that you can pull out of this movie. It's so rich. And also speaks to the relationship between men and women, right? That, Ken was enamored by the real world, right?
Yes.
Because he became a man.
And he felt like in this world I can
People-
rule and I can dominate it. People are looking at me like,
yeah, like they actually
yes.
want my opinion.
Yes.
Like, but it was a weird transition, right? Because you think, because he didn't feel like there was something missing in Barbie's world. It wasn't until he was faced with the patriarchal world that he realized, oh,
and this is what happens.
and that's seduction right there. So, like, there's a huge theme within Black feminist studies about seduction and capitalism and patriarchy, right? We're being seduced by these systems of power, in various ways. So for me, I saw that seduction, like, oh wow, like this is it, right? Like this is this. I have power in this world, right?
I
As a
mean,
man,
and
and I
yeah.
love the interviewing that he did, like his ethnographic world in his ethnographic practice into like
Oh,
the
yes.
real world. Where he started interviewing these white men.
Yes.
And then he carried around his like that mink coat that was it
Yes.
Rambo?
Yes. And there's a part where he goes to that hospital and he wants a male, and he feels that he can be a doctor because he's a male. And
Oh yeah, but I'm a man.
Yes, I know. And the female doctors, well, I'm a doctor. Yeah, but I want to. So yeah, there were, and again, I was
it's
good with that. It's just, I don't know.
and then coming back to Barbie world, but that's what happens.
That's true.
That's what happens. And just think about it as a formative project. In other words, our men are being formed this way. It's scary.
Yeah.
It's scary, right? I do like the subversiveness. I did like the subversiveness of it was funny. It was mocking, I think, for me, that toxic or that what's being called, right, this toxic masculinity. But it was mocking the mansplaining, right? Or even the egocentricness or the ethnocentric of men, right? Within the context of the story, and how they took over the legal system,
Yes,
etc.,
exactly.
or the justice system, right? It's just, yeah. I mean, I think that was packed quite. Like there was a lot there.
It was.
There was a lot there. But I like the way they tricked men by having them mansplain, and then
Yes.
and then they would like bring the women, right, or the other Barbies into like what would wake them up, right,
Exactly.
in a way.
And I know they were overdoing it. But as a guy like, hey,
¿Qué pasó?
cálmense,
¿Qué pa-"
cálmense.
Pero pues así pasa.
Yes.
So I think for me, that's why I asked you. Like, I think mirrors were placed upon society, right?
Yeah,
like,
just wanna see 'em.
hey, let's look at each other. So I think it's a really cool educational tool. I'm leaving it at that. Like,
Okay.
I think it's
So it's something that you would show to your class?
oh yeah, definitely. I would. I think it's a great, even at the beginning, right, where like children were playing with these baby dolls, and it was like archaic, almost like
Yeah.
in the cave world, right,
Yeah,
like back
yeah.
then in the world, There's just so many themes you can pull out of it. So that's why I enjoy it.
Okay.
But I still have my own critiques of it in terms of how Latinas were represented, through America, and through her daughter. There's also that mother-daughter relationship that you can have a conversation around, right? But it's also a very white feminist movie, right? And so that's, for me, it's like, we can unpack that more, right? In terms of how Latinas are represented, even Black women, the way they're represented in the movie. So yeah.
Okay, so we'll leave it as...
We'll leave it as that. We'll leave it as an educational tool.
Okay. So, you said you went with some friends. What was their take on it?
Well, it was funny because she liked it, but it was a couple. They're a couple, and he, I don't know. I asked Juan and him, like, what did they think, and they were kind of quiet. So
I think I need to talk to Juan.
Yeah, like I think you all need to unpack it a little
Okay.
bit more. I think it would be a cool project for men, right, to come together and like a book club, but for a movie of Barbie. Let's watch Barbie and let's think about patriarchy. I know this is my Barbie world over here.
That's your Barbie.
This is my utopia over here. Bueno, ya son las 12.
Wow, my goodness, our first show, and it just went by so quickly.
It did.
It was awesome.
It was.
It was great just being here again.
Yeah.
Because we had been out for a couple of months.
Yeah,
and just
yeah.
Getting back into this groove. And we really enjoy it on Fridays because it allows us kind of discuss the work week as well as anything that has happened. So,
yes.
great.
So we are going to see you all next week.
Yes.
And then we're trying to line up more interviews so that we can meet more people on campus and in the community. Again, the show is to understand feminism from the ground up. And that's what we're trying to do.
And one of the things that we also want to do is get more of a social media presence.
Yes.
And so we'll be working on that. And we really do thank you for joining us
Yeah.
this morning. And remember, this is Vaquero Radio, the Valley's student station. So listen to
Yeah.
some of the other shows that are also scheduled for Vaquero Radio, and you'll enjoy them as well.
Yeah,
So-
share Vaquero Radio, please, with your fellow listeners or fellow people, community. So we're going to end it with Los Ángeles Azules, Amor a Primera Vista. Esa se la dedico a mi mamá, porque a mi
Aw.
mamá le gustan Los Ángeles Azules. They were here, and I
Yes.
didn't buy the tickets, and I know she holds it against me somehow. So I'm going to dedicate the song for her, okay? See you all next week.
Yes. Bye, everyone.
Bye.